Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK back at you with another video here for the NBA main slate here on Tuesday. It's a really small 3-game slate, but real quick, let's see how we currently did tonight. Pretty frustrating, just missed the cash line here in tournaments. The Milwaukee guys, they're great plays. They're high owned for a reason. It was just Mike Budenholzer randomly. Sometimes he does this with his rotations where he'll just play everyone like 25 minutes, and that's what he did. Even in a close game, I mean, the starters got pulled with like 2 minutes left, but Bledsoe played like 25, 24 minutes. Middleton played 27 minutes. I mean, they both would have played under 30 minutes, so I don't really understand what Budenholzer is doing. When Giannis plays, Bledsoe and Middleton play 30 to 35 minutes, so I assume they'll at least play that, maybe possibly more. So super frustrating, unpredictable. I mean, the process is right with those two guys. Again, they were high on for a reason. I would play them again in a heartbeat. It was just Budenholzer randomly decided to kind of pull a Dave Yeager on us, to be honest. Ben Simmons, I think he had honestly 37 at half and literally did absolutely nothing here for me in the second half. I also said, I like Tobias and Jimmy Butler. Tobias was the one you really wanted there for the 76ers. Kelly O tweeted about him with all those Miami guys out. They had, a very thin rotation, so I tweeted out, I liked playing a couple of Miami guys. I ended up going with Kelly O. Ersan, he got in the sort of starting lineup. He was close to minimum price, so I did like him. And then Levine and Markkanen with Otto Porter and Chris Dunn out. I like both those guys. The blowout hurt a little bit. I mean, they missed out on like 2 or 3 minutes at the end there. Jonas Valanciunas, talked about him as well. But yeah, it was really Bledsoe and Middleton kind of the letdowns here. So kind of frustrating, but the process was right there, so I can't be too mad about it. All right, let's look at the slate here for tonight. Again, 3-game slate, and we got the Knicks on the slate, so it's kind of frustrating. We'll just go team by team here. I'll try and break down the Knicks here first. So, DeAndre Jordan, we don't know of his status. If he's out, then that would be a boost to Mitchell Robinson. Noah Vonleh, Luke Cornett would see some extra run. If DeAndre plays at 6K, I'm probably not going to do it. I mean, I understand, but I'm just not a DeAndre Jordan guy. Mitchell Robinson, just be careful. I know he's been playing really well, but this guy is known for getting in foul trouble. And if he gets in foul trouble, he can definitely lay an egg here. He has flashed some big upside here, but I'm just a little worried because Vucevic, obviously an aggressive center. I'm a little worried Mitchell Robinson kind of get in foul trouble, but if he stays out of foul trouble with no DeAndre Jordan, I think Mitchell Robinson could be a really solid play. And then the rest of it is just a shit show here. I mean, Dennis Smith Jr., he had a good night. 52 fantasy points in only 30 minutes. He was limited to 22 against Minnesota. It's Dave Fizdale. He's going to play the hot hand. So we got Moutier waiting, on the bench. If he's playing well, he'll stick with Moutier. So it's just a really shitty situation. I really don't want to target any Knicks, probably besides Mitchell Robinson if DeAndre Jordan's out. I mean, Kevin Knox, I'm playing all the minutes he can handle, but before that, 22 and 19 minutes. Just such inconsistent rotations. I don't know. Dotson would probably be the next Knick I would play. Did play 34 and 37 minutes the last 2 games. Been pretty productive. His salary is pretty cheap, so I wouldn't mind taking a shot at Dotson. Noah Vonleh, I think, is a pretty good GPP play. If DeAndre Jordan's out and Mitchell Robinson gets in foul trouble, I think Noah Vonleh will get some extra run. We've seen, he hasn't really flashed upside of late, but we know he has it in him. So I think he's worth a look in tournaments. Trier, been playing some big minutes off the bench. You could always give a look to him. It's just, the Knicks situation is just a headache. So it's Mitchell Robinson if DeAndre Jordan's out. It's Dotson. I mean, you could take a shot at Dennis Smith Jr. or Moutier, but they're going to basically split the minutes. Vonleh only for GPPs, possibly Trier. But yeah, it's hard to figure out the next situation. So let's move on to Orlando. I really like Vucevic and Aaron Gordon here. I know Vucevic's price is up there. I think it kind of goes low owned, but he has massive upside here. So I like Vucevic. I also like Aaron Gordon quite a bit here at 6.4. In a close game, he's going to play 30 to 35 minutes. Knicks don't play a whole lot of defense, so I like those two guys at the top. And then the rest of it, Isaac and Fournier, I think, are solid. I don't think they're the best plays, I don't think the worst plays, but again, the matchup's really good, so Isaac and Fournier, I think, are okay. Terrence Ross, be careful. I always talk about it with him. If his shot's not falling, he will hurt you. Like, look at what happened against New Orleans here. 9 fantasy points. He does have some upside when the shot's falling, but when it's not falling, he can definitely hurt you. DJ Augustine, I think, is going to be pretty chalky, but probably for a good reason. I mean, he's going to play 25 or so minutes in a good matchup at 4.1K. I think he's going to be pretty chalky, but again, I don't think he's the worst play. The bench guys, I don't think I would take a shot at any of these cheap guys. So, yeah, for me, it's Vucevic, it's Gordon, it's DJ Augustine, and those are the guys that I really like. So, let's move on. Boston. With everyone healthy, you guys kind of know I'm not a huge fan of Boston, but if I was going to play any of these guys, it would be the top 2 here. It's Kyrie and Horford. Horford especially, just been playing really well. The price just doesn't seem to want to come up with him. I know the matchup not the best against Toronto, but he's just been playing some really good basketball. So I like Horford, probably my favorite Celtic, and then Kyrie would be the next guy I would play. I know the matchup not the best, but he does have some upside here at 8.8K. Other than that, I mean, the rest of these guys, yeah, you could take a shot on one of them, but I prefer to target those guys when, Kyrie's out or a couple of the other Celtics are out. So for me, it's Kyrie and it's Horford. On the Toronto side, I'm just going to be honest, I don't really like anyone here. Kawhi, he was only out because of rest, so I assume he's going to be back. But if Kawhi does miss again, then it would be, Siakam, Lowry you could look to, possibly Ibaka, Gasol. But if Kawhi plays, it's just tough. They're kind of like Boston, a really deep team. Yeah, nothing really sticking out the page to me here for Toronto. Obviously, it would be my mind would change if Kawhi's out. Then I would target a lot of the Toronto guys. But if they're fully healthy, just nothing really sticking out the page to me for Toronto. So let's move on to the final game of the night. This one should be a good one. OKC and Denver. I don't know the over-unders yet. I don't think they have come out yet, but I'd assume this one's going to be a pretty high over-under. Yeah, it's the main last here for OKC. It's Westbrook, it's Paul George, it's Steven Adams for me. Westbrook and Paul George, they're just in a high over-under game. I know playing on the road at Denver, it's tough to play at Denver, but Westbrook and Paul George have just been playing some great basketball, and they're such high usage rates right now, so I like those two guys. And I like Steven Adams quite a bit, too. Denver plays big. I assume Steven Adams plays 35 minutes. 5.6K, we know he does have some upside in him, so I like Steven Adams quite a bit. As far as secondary plays, Jeremy Grant's okay. Dennis Schroeder off the bench, I think solid there, 4.3K. Actually, the more I think about Schroeder, that price just seems a little too cheap for him at 4.3K. So I do like Dennis Schroeder. Markieff Morris, the minutes haven't really been there, but I would like it if he was playing 25 to 30 minutes. But even in 20 minutes, got you 24 fantasy points. Only shot the ball 2 of 8 at 4K. I think he's definitely, you definitely can take a shot there. And Denver does run big, so the more I think about it, maybe Markieff gets a little more run. So Schroeder, Markieff, the more I think about it, I kind of talk myself into them. I think that both those guys are pretty solid plays. Other than that, I don't think I would take a shot at any of these bench guys. I mean, Noel, maybe. If Steven Adams gets in foul trouble, we have seen when Noel gets minutes, he can be productive. So maybe if you want to, take a shot there. But other than that, I don't know if I would take a shot at any of these cheap guards. So that's kind of my thoughts with OKC. On the Denver side, it's Jokic here at 10K. The over-under should be really high. In a close game, he's going to play 35 or so minutes. Clippers game, that was a blowout. He just seems too cheap here, so I like Jokic quite a bit. And then these secondary Denver guys, I do like Paul Millsap, been playing really well here at 6.2K. I don't think we'd expect this level of production to continue, but I still think he's a pretty solid mid-tier guy. Jamal Murray seems too cheap. Was involved in a blowout. That's when I saw 24 minutes. In a close game, he's going to play 30-plus minutes at 6K. In an up-tempo game, I like Jamal Murray quite a bit. Will Barton, kind of had an off game here against the Clippers. But it's just the price tag here of 4.9K that makes him firmly in play. Gary Harris at 4.5. I would like it if he was playing closer to 30 minutes, but I still think he's playable. And then, you got Beasley, Morris, Isaiah Thomas. They're all getting some decent run. I would probably prefer Isaiah just because he's going to be aggressive on offense. At 3.8K, that seems pretty cheap. So I think I would probably take a shot on Isaiah. Plumlee here at 4.8. He's been playing really well in limited minutes. So I'm not going to talk you off him, but I'm probably not going to go there. And then the really cheap guys, I don't think I would target any of these guys. So for me personally, I really like this OKC Denver game. Get your stars in that game. Probably 2 of the 3 of Westbrook, Paul George, and Jokic. That's probably what I'm going to play. And then maybe a couple cheap guys from Orlando, New York. And then, yeah, go from there. But yeah, I really do like my favorite game stack by far here is Oklahoma City, Denver. Again, it's the top 3 here: Westbrook, Paul George, Steven Adams. Even Schroeder, Markieff Morris, Jeremy Grant. Like these top 6 here for OKC, I do like quite a bit. On the Denver side, same thing here. It's Jokic. I like Millsap. I like Murray. I like Barton. Gary Harris is okay. I like Isaiah Thomas. So I like a lot. I'm probably gonna get a lot of exposure to this game, and maybe get a couple cheap guys here from this Knicks game. Maybe Mitchell Robinson if DeAndre Jordan's out, and probably Dotson would be the other Knick that I would target. So that's kind of my thoughts with this slate. Boston, Toronto, kind of crossing it out. If I was gonna play someone, it would definitely be Al Horford in this game. Might even still play him. I haven't really played around with lineup construction, but maybe I can fit Al Horford in. We'll see. But yeah, that's my thoughts with this slate. So if you guys, I think that's gonna do it for today's video, guys. If you have been enjoying the content, please like this video, subscribe. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comment section down below. It's also important to follow me on Twitter. I'll put that in the description below. I'll give my thoughts and more news comes out throughout the day. And I'll be back for another video on Wednesday, so I'll see you guys then.